Well, a good Thursday afternoon. I am meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Time now, it's 1 p.m. with the latest information on Tropical Depression 9. It's still pretty unorganized. We're finding the heaviest rain bands north and east of the system, which is expected, but it's trying to get its act together. Right now, it is producing heavy rain over portions of Cuba and Jamaica this early afternoon. And the latest information has maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with stronger wind gusts of 45 miles per hour. It is moving to the northwest at 13 miles per hour. And as we look at the position of the center here, it's about 95 miles southwest of Negril, Jamaica. So again, it is going to continue this trend for the next couple of days or so. So the latest projected path from the National Hurricane Center, it is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm later on today. The next name on the list is Ida, so this could potentially become Ida later on today. But notice it is expected to move into the Gulf of Mexico as early as Friday night or early Saturday morning. But the latest projected path has the center of the storm kind of clipping far western Cuba, so it'll run into some land interactions that could potentially weaken it. But as it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, it could potentially strengthen into a Category 1 hurricane, and we all know the warm water, it is either 85, 86, or even 87 degrees. And so we're looking at very warm water in the Gulf of Mexico, which will help it intensify. And as we get into early Sunday morning, it could potentially intensify into a Category 2 hurricane. So of course, there are a couple of things we are looking at. The latest models here, the tropical models, are in pretty good agreement here, taking it into the Gulf of Mexico. And as we get closer to Sunday, even Monday, notice the spread here, but we're actually looking at landfall somewhere along coastal Louisiana as we head into your Sunday and Monday. So again, we'll continue to watch the system. As we get more information, this forecast will continue to evolve. So the position of the system, you could see it right there. And time frame, we have that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we could feel impacts as early as Sunday morning, so keep that in mind. And when we're looking at the coastal areas of Louisiana here, now it's time to prepare. Again, make sure you have your hurricane plan in place just in case. And even portions of, we're looking at Mississippi all the way extending to the panhandle of Florida, need to really pay attention to this forecast because, as I mentioned before, it will continue to evolve as we get more information. In fact, hurricane hunters are actually on their way right now to get more information for us here. So as I mentioned before, the next name on the list is Ida. We just went through Henri a few days ago. And what you really need to know about this forecast, that potential impacts as early as Sunday, it is looking possible right now, and rapid intensification is also possible because it will be entering an environment that is marginally conducive. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that will limit the intensification of this system. It's going to be going over very warm water. Also, the wind shear, not a whole lot of that to help break apart the system. As I mentioned before, the atmospheric environment will be favorable for further development. And as we get more information, some shifting may happen, and that's in terms of the center of the storm. So as we look at the setup, the steering pattern, again, we were really banking on this upper level ridge. Notice we have a lot of ridging going on out to our west and also to our east. But this upper level ridge, we were really hoping to block this system, but unfortunately, as of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to do that. As we go through today and also tomorrow, that upper level ridge will continue to retreat, and that's going to allow that system to make that northward turn eventually as we head into your Saturday and Sunday. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, today it's going to be hot and humid. We're already tracking some heavy downpours in a few spots. Same deal as we head into tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the lower 90s. Now, as we head into the weekend, Saturday it is going to be rainy. Temperatures will be near average, but your Sunday and also Monday, we'll be keeping a close eye on the system because impacts are possible. And of course, we're going to continue our social media platforms for an in-depth discussion. I hope you can join me. So for now, we're going to return you back to regular programming.
From Channel 4's Eyewitness News, this has been your local weather expert alert, brought to you by Egan Insurance Agency.
Well, Another good Thursday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan, and time now it's a little after 1 o'clock with the latest information on Tropical Depression 9. Earlier this morning was Invest 99L rather, so now it has strengthened into a Tropical Depression 9, and we have found the center of the storm here, but you can see as we pull up the enhanced satellite imagery here, you'll find most of the heavy rain bands north and east of the system, which is expected, but it's trying to wrap around here, so further organization is expected through today, tomorrow, and also into the weekend. So the latest information here, we have maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with stronger wind gusts of 45 miles per hour, and it is moving to the northwest at 13 miles per hour. So it is producing heavy rain in portions of Cuba and Jamaica at the moment, and it's about 95 miles southwest of Negril, Jamaica. Now, the latest projected path from the National Hurricane Center, it is expected to continue that northward motion and potentially may clip western Cuba. That may weaken it. It just depends. We'll have to wait and see. But later on today, the latest forecast has it strengthening into a tropical storm, which will get a name. And the next name on the list is Ida. As we head into your Friday night or even early Saturday morning, that's when it will make its trip into the Gulf of Mexico, then potentially strengthening into a Category 1 hurricane. And the atmospheric environment, it looks marginally conducive for further development. So while it's over very warm water and wind shear won't be present, or limited wind shear will be present there, and we're looking at a Category 2 hurricane as early as Sunday morning. And notice the cone of concern is still rather large. We're looking at the center of the storm could potentially be either between far western Texas, coastal Louisiana, and also coastal Mississippi. Again, there's still some uncertainties. The more information we get, and in fact, the hurricane hunters are actually on their way to get more information on what's going on with this system. So the more information we get, the forecast will continue to evolve. But as we take a look at the computer models or the tropical models here, pretty good agreement here, taking it into the Gulf of Mexico, but we're still looking at a spread as to where the center of the storm will end up. But coastal Louisiana, definitely need to pay very close attention to this forecast. Even coastal Mississippi and coastal Texas, again, it will continue to evolve as we get more information. But as we take a look at the GFS and also the Euro, pretty good agreement, taking it through the Caribbean Sea and also clipping western Cuba. Now, in terms of the GFS and also the Euro, we're just looking at timing at this point. The GFS looks to be a little bit slower or faster than the Euro, but the center of the storm could potentially end up in western Louisiana or potentially eastern Louisiana. Again, there's still a lot of uncertainties, but as of right now, tropical impacts are possible. So as we take a look at the time frame, as I mentioned, again, it's going to go through the Caribbean Sea throughout the day and also tonight, and potentially end up in the Gulf of Mexico as early as Friday evening, early Saturday morning. But that's when things will really start ramping up, because everything will be there for this system to continue to intensify. So again, as of now, you want to make sure you have your hurricane plan in place, start preparing, get what you need just in case if we will be dealing with a strong storm as early as Sunday afternoon, potentially into Monday. So right now it is the time to prepare because we are in the cone of uncertainty. So as I mentioned before, we just saw Henri not too long ago. Ida is next on the list, so this system could potentially become Ida. So the takeaway from this forecast, potential impacts as early as Sunday, again, possible. And we are looking at rapid intensification. That is also possible because all the factors are there for this system to continue to intensify. As I mentioned before, the atmospheric environment will be favorable. And as we get more information, some shifting may happen as to where the center will go. And we're talking about the steering pattern. Again, earlier this week, we were really banking on this upper level ridge or this blocking high to really keep this system south of us. Unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to really happen. That upper level high or that blocking high Right now it is positioned over the northwest. That is going to somewhat retreat, and that's going to allow the system to continue that northward path into portions of northwestern or the northwestern Gulf region as we head into the weekend. And the sea surface temperature, well, it's very hot. We're looking at sea surface temperatures 86 degrees, some spots 85 degrees. So again, the energy for this system to continue to intensify, again, that warm water, that fuel. And we've been talking about the oceanic heat content for some time, and that just means the energy, the warm water, is not just only at the surface, it actually stems deep well into the water, so you get that upwelling. The system will always have that energy to continue to intensify. And the available moisture, the tropical moisture, I mean, if this does play out, portions from Texas could see heavy rain, Louisiana, portions of Mississippi, Alabama, even coastal Florida, the Panhandle, may see some of those heavier rain bands. And as of right now, the next 7 days, this is going to change, by the way. Right now, we are looking at the bullseye along coastal Louisiana, which may get up to 15 inches of rain. And as I mentioned before, the more information we get, the forecast will continue to evolve. So that's the layest projected rain totals as of right now. And when we're looking at the tropical storm wind probabilities, we're looking at a high probability along coastal Louisiana extending all the way to Morgan City. And we're talking about that system. All focus is on that system because that could potentially impact us here in southeast Louisiana. But I do want to mention there are actually two tropical waves we're also looking at out in the Atlantic basin. Both have a high probability or high chance of developing into named systems. And again, I do think the system that we're watching right now, which is right here, Tropical Depression 9, will most likely become Ida. But the races between these two here, whichever one becomes Julian or Kate, as you can see, both of them have a high chance of development in the next 3 to 5 days or so. The good news with those two systems as of right now, are not a threat to any land masses. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, hot and humid today. We are actually dealing with some very heavy rain across southeast Louisiana, all thanks to a trough that is positioned off to our east. That's going to keep things somewhat unsettled, not only today, but also tomorrow. And now as we head into the weekend, again, temperatures will still be rather hot. We're looking at a 50% coverage of rain, and we're actually looking at possible impacts as we head into your Sunday. And again, our job is not to scare you, it's to prepare you. And right now, again, make sure you have your hurricane plan in place, you know, just in case if this does play out. And of course, we will continue to keep you updated as we get the information. So I hope you all just stay up to date with the forecast, and we'll keep you updated. And I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan.